Alright everybody, so I just installed the rear 5160s. As you can see, this is on my 2020 Ram Cummins Tradesman. I did one side just so I can make a video for you guys to make it easier. Here's what it looks like. So, tools you're gonna need a 18, a 19, a 22 sockets, your torque wrench, and then I have my electric one here to just get everything off a little faster. Oh, and also a 5/16 to take off the plastic trimming off the rear tire. So we're gonna work on the passenger side now. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take off 5 of these little nuts. See from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So first thing we're gonna do. All right, next thing we're gonna do is just remove the trimming. And you can take off that nut with the 18mm wrench. All right, after you remove the nut, you can remove the metal washer and that rubber gasket. Okay, top side is done. Hi everyone, I apologize. I know I said you needed a 22-inch, 22mm wrench and socket. They're 21s. Sorry about that. So you need a 21 on both sides to take the bottom of the shock off. Once you take that nut off, all you have to do is just wiggle the shock around to get the bolt out, and that should just let you slide the whole shock out. So doing this one-handed, so you see, you just wiggle it around. There you go. Now to remove the shock, just compress it a little bit, move it down. That should bring the whole shock out. All right, so this is everything that comes in that 5160 kit. It's gonna be your bushing, the sleeve, another bushing, 2 washers, and then the sleeve, whatever you call this, it's just like a sleeve, and then the nut that goes on top. So this is the one that's a 19mm versus the 18 that's on the stock truck. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put the sleeve inside of this. All right, so this is what it should look like once you tapped it all the way in. It's a lot easier doing it before than doing it after, trying to get it on the shock. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna assemble the shock with metal washer on bottom, the nipple facing upright, and then we're gonna put it into the truck. But first I'm gonna show you how it looks like on the shock. So this is what it's gonna look like. Here's the top of your strut. It's gonna be metal washer and then the little nipple facing up. Just like that, and then you're gonna insert it into the truck. This does come with a zip tie holding the boot in place to keep some of the dust out. Make sure you take that off because you're gonna have to put the vice grips on the stem. I'll show you. Well, if I move it up, it's gonna pop off the top. So once you have the end of the truck and put the top bolt in place, you're gonna use the vice grips after. I'll show you what it looks like because the stem is gonna turn once you put the top nut on. All right, so next we're gonna insert the top of the shock into the top hole and then secure it down here with the bottom bolt. All right, and it should look something like this. Well, it should look exactly like this actually. On the passenger side, the reservoir goes toward the back. On the driver's side, it goes toward the front, per the directions. So next we're gonna put the bolt on, or the nuts, I'm sorry, just to hold it in place. And then we're gonna go check the top. Alright, so this is what it should look like. You should be able to read the Bilstein. And there's the top of the stem. So next step is putting on the rubber washer. I put just a little bit of WD-40 because there's another rubber piece on the stem there. As you see it, that'll just help it slide right over, and you can have a little bit more stem to work with once you put the washer. So the next washer, see, you have a couple threads to put the nut through. So next we're going to put that nut on top and tighten it down. Oh, put it on for now because we have to put the vice grips to actually put it on. So let's just start it. Alright, so now that we put the nut on there to hold everything in place, we take off the zip tie. We can scoop the boot up. And I'm going to put my vice grips just right on the edge there, just anywhere where I can hold it. So something like this. See how it's just gripping right there? You're gonna hold this so the stem doesn't move, because you can see the whole thing moves. So if you try turning just the top, the whole thing would just keep spinning forever. So hold this, start torquing down the top with your 19mm until it bottoms out. All right, so now once you feel that bottom out, it should be fairly quick. That's what it should look like. Next you can take these off. Whoops. And then you can slide your boot over. And then if you don't have zip ties, you're gonna have to go get a zip tie. You really don't have to, but it's just more security for your boot to not go up and down. Well, I need my other hand, so hang on. Alright, so now you can just scoot your boot down. You can go as far as this thing will let you, and then just tighten it down. You can go, I still have like another 2 inches to go up if I wanted to go higher, but I like it about there. But next step is going back down to the bottom and tightening down that nut. Alright, back down at the bottom. Make sure you don't forget to tighten this with your 21mm. Alright, after you tighten it down, make sure you torque it down to specs. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to install this weather plastic back onto the truck with the 5 screws. Put it back on the same way. Oh, not like that. Put it back in there. And then all your holes should just line right back up. Make sure you start them off first. That way you can still move the plastic around. Alright, now that we have them all started, we can go ahead and start tightening them down. Remember, don't over tighten them. They're on plastic. It will strip them. Alright, and now we're done. All we have to do is put the zip tie on there to hold the boot in place. That's what it looks like. Very easy to do. Would have taken maybe 30 minutes. But recording takes a little longer, so just wanted to make you guys this video, show you how easy it is. Well, best of luck, guys. Let me know if you have questions. Alright, so one thing I noticed on the stock shocks is on the Bilstein, we had to hold the stem somewhere in the body so it wouldn't turn. And on the stock ones, I don't know if you can see the top, kind of has like a hex where you could hold it from spinning, which is a pretty good idea. I'll send them an email and see if they can incorporate this into like future products just to make it easier for the consumers. But anyways, I'll show you guys the end result, how the truck looks from the side. So now this is the front. Sorry, there's a glare, guys. The rear.